Oh, welcome everybody to the online program for the alumni of the Sunshine Coast Health Center up here in Powell River, British Columbia. And we've been talking about relapse prevention, but not the usual stuff, not the keep away from slippery places, make new friends so that you won't be drawn back into the drug using culture, all that official stuff. This has got more to do with things like meaning and purpose. So we've talked about boredom, and we've talked about what I call the lure of intensity, right? That need to get an adrenaline rush, to live, to crank up the emotional level of life a few notches. Right? And this week, I'm going to talk about a rather tricky one, but it's very important, and that is drug use will become a real option if you feel confused about life. Okay. Now, we've talked before on the online program about the work of, for example, Todd Kashdan. Now, Dr. Kashdan has done research which shows that if you're confused about the way you're feeling, you're going to drink more, statistically speaking. Okay. So this is a very odd thing. So what he noticed was if someone was going to the bar, it was Friday night, and through his research he had found all this out, that if they didn't really understand what they were going through, they would drink more. So they may say, for example, "Oh, I just feel lousy," and that's all they can express is just "I feel lousy," which is extremely vague and really doesn't have a good explanatory power to it going through. On the other hand, if they say, "Well, I'm feeling lousy because I just broke up with my lover, and the bank repossessed my car," and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, now they can make sense of what's going on, then they will drink less. Okay, so this link between being confused about what you're feeling or confused just about life is very strong with drug use. I don't know how many life stories that we've heard at the Sunshine Coast Health Center about people who are just shocked when, for example, their best friend sleeps with their girlfriend. They just came right out of the blue to them. But human nature, of course, isn't quite like that. There are always signs everywhere. So if the person is not paying attention to what's actually going around him or her, then there's a real danger that they're going to get confused about people's actions. And this confusion is pretty common with a lot of clients here, right? But perhaps the greatest confusion that most of the clients here have is answering these two questions, right, that we've talked about a lot, which is who am I and how do I fit in the world? And if the client can't answer that in a way that matches reality, this is a real problem. And it's one of the most common themes in the life stories that we hear, is that this real struggle to make sense of their lives in a meaningful way. Now, pretend you're now in recovery, okay, and you still have the same problem. You're still being caught off guard. I mean, people are doing things that are shocking you, right? If that's still happening, then that link between that confusion and the drug use it's not going to go away. It's still going to be very powerful. And we know from many years of experience that for these people who are this confused or getting caught off guard, who just can't make sense of things, and oh geez, why did this have to happen to me, that they very often relapse. And it's because when they relapse, at least, as one of the fellows here said recently, is like, if I relapse, at least I get some control over my life. I'm not getting blindsided by life, right? So it's quite interesting, this whole concept of confusion in your life. So again, for relapse prevention, if you notice this in your life, you're getting blindsided by things and people are shocking you, you thought you knew them and they go up and do something that just amazes you, that this is a big red flag, that perhaps you should be spending more time examining the world around you, okay? And also, a key piece of that is examining your own life, to reflect on your own life, which at the center, this is what we help the fellows do all the time, is to take a good, long, hard look at their lives. Anyway, that's it for this week, and we'll be back next week with another one.